Samuel Caston, thank you for being here. Just kind of in honor of Veterans Day, wanted to have a real OG on here. I appreciate you coming. You came in from Mississippi, right?
I did, brother. I did.
What part of Mississippi? Liberty?
I'm in Liberty, Mississippi these days.
That's a hike.
It's not bad, man. A little over an hour, but it's an easy drive. You get to drive through beautiful country. Just quiet.
It is nice out there. We go out there once a year for Christmas. A missionary friend of mine. Do you know Luke Walters by chance? He lives on Street Road.
Really? I know exactly where that is.
Yeah. He lives on Street Road. It's easy to remember that, or Road Street maybe. But yeah, we go out there for a Christmas party. I'm like, this place is forever, man. But it's beautiful out there.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah. Y'all been out there a few years now, huh?
I've been at the school now right at 2 years, and there at Liberty Baptist Church almost a year.
Okay. And you're a coach, youth
man,
pastor.
I've got the best job in coaching, dude. Being an assistant coach is the greatest job on earth.
Everybody gets mad at him.
Absolutely, dude. I get to do the fun stuff and be like the man. I love you, kid. We got this. Like, kind of get to be the cheerleader guy.
Okay.
But I'm an assistant football coach, an assistant baseball coach. I teach Bible at the school, and ironically, I am teaching Mississippi history, being a Louisiana, boy.
Right.
But it's been cool. I told my class, like, we're learning together.
Okay.
So, and then I'm the student minister at Liberty Baptist Church.
Okay.
Also, so we are all in the community, and dude, it's awesome. God has put us in a really cool spot.
I love it.
Most of my youth that I'm ministering to at the school are also my students or players that I get to coach. And the gospel is very real, very alive, and ever present. So,
dude, I love that.
I get to pour in a lot. Yeah, man, it is. It is a lot, and sometimes it is overwhelming.
Yeah.
But God keeps giving us energy, and continues to keep a boldness in us. My wife is actually the children's director at the church now.
Oh, wow.
So, man,
okay.
When we moved from the church that we were at, I was the only one in ministry, as a profession.
Mm-hmm.
But, man, when we moved, God decided that it was time for both
Everybody,
of us.
all
Yeah,
in.
dude. So
Isn't she a Catholic girl?
She was raised Catholic.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, man.
Alyssa, right?
Yeah, Alyssa. And, dude, I a couple years ago, when God really started to work on me a few years back, we just had a difference in our faith, and I didn't really have any. Hers was just strict Catholicism, and neither one of us grew up Baptist.
Yeah.
And that was kind of where God put us, man, and I got to see my wife baptized. And,
Come on.
And, yeah, dude, it just – marriage is such a blessing.
Heck yeah.
The most beautiful, I think, that my wife, every time, like, getting to see that moment in her life.
Oh, wow.
But then seeing her work with these kids, dude, she's just more beautiful to me every day. Like, every time. Yeah, dude, it is. It's watching the purpose God has given her and her running with that, man. It is. It's I'm just really proud of her.
That's
I am.
awesome. I love that. My wife, Angel, she was raised Catholic as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I didn't get to see her baptized. She was already living it before we met. And, but that's, I guess, hey, ex-Catholic girls make good wives.
Oh, absolutely, dude. She is devout, She is in her Bible. She is strict with some things. And,
right.
She is very much my better half and helps keep me, my compass pointed in the right direction.
That's fun. And y'all have 2 kids?
We have 3, man. Yeah, we have our 23-year-old daughter. She got married last year. I got to officiate her wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. The hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Because you want to punch the dude, but you want to marry him.
Oh, no, dude.
You were happy.
We love Jonathan, man. He is an incredible dude, and he loves our daughter well. He loves the Lord. Like, everything that we prayed about in a son-in-law, God gave us exponentially better.
That's awesome.
And we're going to be grandparents in December.
What?
Yeah, dude.
Y'all are like the youngest grandparents on the planet.
Well, I feel that way sometimes, but it's a blessing, dude.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to be a fun pawpaw.
Absolutely.
Pre-Jesus, they always joked about my name being Grumps. But now that the Lord is in my life, and has been for many years, I think I might get to be a pawpaw or something, you know.
Something good, okay.
Yeah. And then we have Sam that is 15 and Lucas that's 11.
Okay. Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, I had a little sister. I have 2 boys. I had a little sister, and I never wanted a daughter because I was always stressed out about having a sister. And she was a good kid, you know? Luckily, she grew up pretty chubby, so the guys weren't chasing her, you know? Then she got beautiful later on in life, which is how I would, if I had to have a daughter, I would want her to be fat and ugly until like marrying age, you know?
Till the perfect time.
Correct.
Yeah.
But like the day after their wedding, they come to my parents' house where we all gathered because my sister can't stand missing out on anything. So my brother-in-law comes up to me and I'm like, I punched him in the kidney. I was like, dude, get away from me. They're just gross. I don't want to see you. I know what y'all did last night. You know, but incredible dude. So, but yeah, I can't imagine having a daughter. I prayed hard for boys. And, like,
man, I tell you, like, so Sam, I get to coach him in football and baseball. Lucas, I coach in baseball and got to help coach in football a little bit this year. And they are fun because they are athletes.
Heck yeah.
My daughter played soccer, man, but it wasn't her necessarily her passion. All 3 of my kids love to hunt. Like the woods has always been our bonding agent. But man, from the minute she was born, she had me, dude, and she knew it. Like,
awesome. I bet.
Just I don't know. Thank God that I had a daughter first to soften me up. You know, like
I can see that.
I had her. I became a dad very young. Just childhood and life, man, had made me kind of hard and bitter. And then the war, like my time overseas and my injury and like all that stuff, dude, I just was an angry, bitter dude. Yeah. But I had this beautiful baby that just loved me and could like pierce right through all of it, man. Wow. And
so you needed it.
I absolutely do. God knew what I needed. Even when I wasn't even looking for him, you know, he was taking care of me. Yeah, dude.
Dude, that's so cool. I love that. I love that. Do y'all do a lot of hunting up there? I bet.
We do as much as we can. You know, when we moved to rural America, I thought that we were going to hunt all the time. And man, when we first moved, we had a farm. We still own that we're trying to sell, but that's another story. But man, we could walk out the back door and hunt and had incredible hunting opportunities with deer, turkey, squirrel, rabbits, like everything that a man like myself dreamed of someday. Yeah. And then God was like, but I need you to coach, or I'm calling you to coach.
Yeah.
And my boys, man, like basketball, you can hang up deer season. Baseball, you can almost hang up turkey season. Yeah. And it cuts into a lot of it. But I will say that now our time in the woods, it's very intentional together.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
And you know, I traveled the country for years hunting anything that was legal. And man, I got so inundated in chasing a trophy, right? That man, I lost complete sight chasing a creation and forgot about my creator, you know? Dude, and so I feel like God put me in this little quiet time of my life and helped me remember why I'm doing what I'm doing, you know, that there is so much more to it than chasing this deer, this elk, or this bear, or this turkey, whatever it was that I was chasing at that moment, fish. But I feel like God allowed me to lose some of that for a little while to remind me of why we do it. And like I said, so now our time together, it's just super intentional.
Yeah, yeah. That's important.
Absolutely.
I brought my boys to Missouri just last week, and they both killed their first doe. I didn't grow up hunting.
Congratulations, dude.
Yeah, and I was their guide, and I'm not a hunter. I killed, you know, I got invited to go to one of these high fence places where you kill a pet. They're like, here, we're letting it off the leash. Get ready.
Right,
you know?
Right.
That wasn't, you know, great. So I don't have a lot of experience. I killed a bear. That was my first hunt. It was in Canada. That was legit. It wasn't somebody's pet.
No, and they're big in Canada.
Yeah, yeah. And they hadn't been hunted since COVID, all through COVID. Well, so I was their guide, and so we didn't see anything. We were in a box stand. I'm going to watch the sunset. So I looked back there, and there was 2 doe. And so I rearranged the boys. My oldest dropped the first one, didn't run or anything, and then the other one didn't run off. And so my youngest gets in the Brody's seat and drops the second one.
No way, dude.
Yeah, and they were 150 yards or something. I mean,
Man, that's awesome.
It wasn't like weak shots. So.
But what a memory, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like that intentional time together.
The time in the stand is where it's at.
Absolutely,
And the road
dude.
trip up there, we were with another dad, and he's, I feel like I failed my kid because we missed a buck. And I was like, dude, the time in the stand is the win. That's what your kid cares about.
Well, dude, I'm going to tell you, in a box stand in Meadville, Mississippi is where life started to change for me.
Wow.
I get to be a part of this ministry. It's called Rain Down Ministries, and I think we have talked about it through the years, but I went to this wild game supper as a veteran. I'd have been invited on these veteran hunts in Hot Coffee, Mississippi, Hot Coffee's Hunt for Heroes. And one of those, or two of those men there invited me to go to a wild game supper in Taylorsville, Mississippi, right? So I show up to hang out, and I thought I knew Jesus, right? I knew who Jesus was. I knew who God was. I had talked at people about the Lord and told all kind of people about him at that point in my life. But this gentleman, who now is just a very dear brother and a mentor in my life, as a matter of fact, he came and preached my ordination ceremony. He's, at any rate, he started talking about this hunt, man, where dads take kids to the woods, and you spend this time, and it's like a Bible study and a walk through Genesis and all the things that you learn about life and about the Lord and why we hunt, why we love being outside, why we are the way that we are. Mm-hmm. And I was sitting there thinking, like, man, I know these veterans through this other organization that I was helping with. Man, they need this hunt. Those guys need this. I need to talk to him. Mm. And I talked to him. I was like, do you ever have kids that need a guide, like somebody to sit with them? And he was like, oh, yeah, man. So I'm thinking, I'm doing something great here. I'm going to get these guys to go on this hunt, be mentors in a young man's or young lady's life. And dude, we went, and he, starts talking through the book of Genesis. And I was like, man, yeah, God made me. Mm. And it was the first time that it ever really sunk into me that, all those days of creation, God looked back at the end of the day and it was good. And, second day it's good, third day it's good, fourth. But on the day that he made man, the day that he made us in his own image, he looked back and it was very good.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm made by a God that really loves me.
Wow.
And it's so important that it's in Genesis that we were very good. And in that time, we were encouraged, like, man, don't bring your phone, don't bring an iPad, just go spend some time with your kid and pray. Yeah. And dude, in that rickety box stand, old wood plow, like something me and Daddy would have built when I was a kid. Yeah. Dude, I started praying with my 9-year-old girl in the stand, my little girl. And dude, it was like, in that moment, it became so abundantly clear how lost I really was. Like, I had put my faith in Jesus, I thought. But man, it was in that moment, I was painfully aware that if I didn't change my life, if something happened to me, I was not going to heaven. Wow. I was not being the kind of man that I wanted my daughter to grow up to marry. Right. Like I was lost. It became painfully aware that I wasn't a very good husband to my wife. Like I just was missing the mark in everything that mattered. And it's, and you talk about that, like, my daughter was one of my best friends, but it's because we spent that time together in a deer stand. Wow. And we spent that time together in the woods or in the boat, and started putting my focus on what mattered. Yeah. And, I didn't mean to get off on a tangent.
No, that's good. I'm just thinking, I don't know that I've ever heard anyone's testimony. I don't know if I've ever heard anybody's revelation coming out of Genesis. Yeah. Like, you created in his image, and that's what just got your heart. You're like, because
man,
that's cool.
I think, through school, God bless me, man. I was an athlete. Yeah. I always relied on my athletic prowess in my life. Like, when I share my testimony, especially with young people, I talk about, dude, that Letterman jacket, right? That heavy wool with the pleather and aldehyde sleeves and my name on the back and all the things that I had accomplished physically and personally was my identity. And all my identity was wrapped up in that. Man, I had heard about God. I had been preached at, the gospel shared. We had this sweet lady in our life that, dude, as a kid, she would rock me and make me learn Bible verses, and she'd give me a quarter, right? Like every verse I learned, she'd pay up, dude. And Luella Williams was her name. And I love Lou. And she really gave me a foundation. Like, I tell you, one of the things she pounded home to me was the prodigal son.
Wow, yeah.
Like,
strong.
Yeah. And I was a little bitty, and I didn't understand the gravity of it, right? And, man, I knew that I really liked the idea of Jesus. But the things that were going on in our home and our family and our life, like my dad had a terrible run in life, man. By 18, he was an orphan.
Wow.
And a very wealthy one, and fell off into drugs really bad.
A very wealthy
orphan. Oh, yeah. My dad inherited a great deal of money when my grandfather passed away. My grandfather was a lieutenant colonel in the Army Air Corps. He fought in World War II, was a flying tiger. Like,
come on.
So I had this image of him larger than life. My mom was the seventh of 10 kids, and they grew up in a little 2-room shack and had an outhouse, like very hard life. So you have two people from opposite ends of the wealth spectrum that came together. By that point, Dad had lost everything financially, you know, and just was a hard-working blue-collar guy, and I love him. But, man, just two broken people that were trying to make a home and a life, and it was rough, dude, and a lot of anger, a lot of violent stuff, and man, I just was lost.
Did you grow up in Baton Rouge?
I did. I went to Lee High School, man.
Okay.
I went to McKinley Middle. Yeah. I went to Walnut. Back then on Government, it was Walnut, not Government Street, Acadian. It was Walnut Hills Elementary.
I went there for a little while.
Okay, man, we might have hung out.
How old are you?
I'm 43.
Yeah, I'm 45. Yeah. You know, when I was at, what was it, Walnut Hills, they had a resource class. Yeah. My mom lied to me and told me that it was because I was smarter than the other kids, and that's why I went to resource class. Yeah. And so I was like, man, I feel bad for all these stupid kids. they're over there. There's a select few of us. Right. The few and the proud, you know. But it wasn't because I was smarter. I thank God for those lies.
I hear you, dude. It keeps us founded.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd been told about Jesus a lot, man, and we went to the Episcopalian church, and there were some wonderful, sweet people there. Mm-hmm. But hindsight, I don't know that, and maybe they preached it. Yeah. But I missed relationship. Mm-hmm. And man, through school, my dad, the first day of my 8th grade year, he had to have surgery for cancer, like remove cancer from his body. And he ended up with a colostomy. So my dad is now, like at that time, he was 40 years old.
Oh, wow.
And so you take a man that's already angry, who has got 3 kids, scared to death, angry with his body, angry with God. You know, he'd lost his mom as a 12-year-old. The woman he was engaged to at one time was murdered. Then,
oh my goodness,
my grandfather died when he was 18, died of a heart attack on their farm, and just an angry guy, man. And now he had the whole weight of the world and all this worry, things that you learn as you get older, right? Yeah. And, man, he was angry, and I took the brunt of a lot of that, I feel like. But dude, the beauty of God. Yeah. That sweet woman that taught me the Bible ended up leading my mom to Christ, and in that time. And my mom starts living for Jesus. Goes all in. She becomes a Sunday school teacher, right? Yeah. So I'm seeing Christ at work, but I didn't realize it. Sure. And, man, my dad in that battle, dude, I went downhill. I was angry, right? Yeah. And I feel like some of that, you know, like a generational curse almost. Mm-hmm. I started experimenting with alcohol. I started smoking pot, still trying to play sports, be an athlete, still doing that. And just, like I said, just lost, dude. And then my dad died, and he was the moral, my junior year. He survived that long, but 2 months before he dies, he looked at my mama in our little kitchen and said, "Gene, what must I do? What do I do to find peace?" Wow. And gave his life to Christ in our little kitchen, man. And like I think about these days, again, like my dad and I, the time that we got along, dude, was in the woods. And we were together a lot in the woods. And I remember sitting on our little picnic table in the backyard, man, and I'm watching the squirrel run up and down a tree. And I was like, thank you, God. Like it was like in that moment I had peace because I knew that life was going to go on.
Yeah.
And I prayed in that moment, like, God, please save my dad.
Wow.
Save him. Like I went all in on I hadn't given my life to Christ, but I knew who to go to.
Yeah.
And like, God, please save my father.
Wow.
Please save Daddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, God. And dude, you know those prayers you remember? It's like if it means me giving up my spot, I want him to have mine. Like whatever it takes, save my dad. And dude, I thought it meant physically. Mm-hmm. And then he died, and I was so angry, dude. And I had some wonderful scholarships set up, in line already for soccer
sports,
and some looks for football, some plans, right? Like, am I going to go here? Do I want to try to play football here? Do I want to play soccer here? What? And then in my anger, man, I sparked some fights and acted a fool and lost all of it.
Oh, wow.
So now I'm an 18-year-old kid, graduating high school, and I went to BRCC, and I was doing terrible. And the plan was always ultimately to join the military. And so I did it. I joined the United States Air Force, man. Okay. I actually went to MEPS for the Marine Corps. My brother is 12 years older than I am and is a Marine. He was like, "Have you lost your?" I was expecting like this big, warm, like, "Oh man, I'm so proud." Yeah. And it was quite the contrary. He was like, "You're smart, little brother. Join the Air Force. What's wrong with you?" and man, I hindsight, I appreciate it.
Yeah. But today's the Marine's birthday, right? Or is it tomorrow?
Oh, don't let me lie to you, brother.
It's either today or tomorrow.
I think it is today. I think
it's today. Yeah.
I'm not a Marine, so Marines out there, please don't be mad at Sam Caston, okay?
I saw my buddy Grant McCurdy was posting his men in a uniform picture, so I think today's.
Yeah. So man, I go back and I joined the United States Air Force, and at the time I was in a bad place. I couldn't even drive myself up there. A friend of mine.
Oh wow! Like emotionally, you couldn't drive, or
dude, I don't remember.
Intoxication.
I don't know. Both.
Yeah.
Like couldn't.
Right.
I don't even think I could afford to put gas in my truck at the time. Like I was cutting grass for my buddy who had his life together. Right.
Right.
So Chris and I played t-ball together our whole lives. He was that dude that he just was always a stand-up human being. Mm-hmm. Good guy. He was not an athlete, but the kind of loving dude he was. He became a trainer on the football team so that we could all still be together.
Come on.
Like, he just was that dude. And, man, he loved to shoot clays. He'd come pick me up. We'd go shoot sporting clays. Like, I would have been in infinitely more trouble in life had Chris Weimer not been in my life.
Wow.
And, dude, he loved Jesus. And when I was doing stupid stuff, he'd always drive and take care of me. But he would talk to me about Christ. At any rate, I'm working for Chris cutting grass because he had his life together, dude. And I was like, dude, I think I'm going to join the Air Force. So he drove me to the recruiting office. And, I walk in the door and I sit down in the little chair and the recruiter tells me all the great things about the military and how much I'm going to love it. And it's the greatest decision I'll ever make. Well, I'm getting ready to shake this guy's hand like, I'm in. I just came here as a formality. I need to do something with my life. Well, Chris heard it. And he walks in and he's like, man, that sounds pretty good. I think I want to do it too. So that day, man, we end up joining the Air Force together.
Come on.
Yeah. And, dude, we go off to boot camp, and he ended up stationed in Florida. This is a dude that never took a drink in his life, like never smoked. Just was such a good dude, man. And I ended up in North Carolina. Well, at first in Montgomery, Alabama, and we spent a lot of time together. And, man, I got deployed. And, dude, while I was deployed, there was this guy there. He was a tech sergeant. And, man, no matter how crazy things were, no matter how rough things were, he just was always at peace, dude. Like, always at peace. and had self-control, something that I'd never even seen in my life.
Right. Yeah.
And dude, I started asking him questions. Like, I wanted to know what was that he had going on. And dude, he spent time with me and talked to me and prayed with me and like really poured into me. And dude, there was this night I was laying in my cot in my drawers in a brown T-shirt and trying to go to sleep, dude. And I heard this voice, right? Like this thing in my head was like, get up and go see him. And I was like, I don't know what that is, but this is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I just laid there, you know, and it like I had that same moment. I was like, I'm not getting up and going bother this man in the middle of the night in the dark in my drawers. And the third time, dude, I couldn't battle that anymore. And I got up and I went over to him, and in the dark, dude, like I said, weird. It is night in the desert. He was like, Caston, I've been expecting you, man.
Come on.
And in that moment, dude, like tears, sobbing, I gave my life to Christ in my drawers in a tent in the middle of the desert. And, dude, I was so on fire. Like, it was the first time I had experienced peace, dude.
Are you
like,
married at this time? No.
To my previous wife, my first wife.
Okay.
Young lady that I dated through, like, in high school.
Okay.
And it's actually, long story.
Okay.
Great lady. Too young.
Yeah.
God had different plans for us.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
But in that moment, dude, like I experienced peace. And it was really the first time I'd ever just felt at peace.
Wow.
Which gave me hope.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I experienced joy. Like, I didn't understand the fruit of the Spirit.
Yeah.
But in that moment, I was experiencing it. And, dude, I just everything changed in that moment for me. And we go on, right? And then this was in April. So, like, April 14th or 15th, I made this statement like, man, I just wish I was going to be home. My little girl was getting ready to turn 1 year old.
Mm-hmm.
1 year old, excuse me. And I just wanted to be there to experience that bit of life with her. And it was the next night that I got hurt.
Well, so let me ask this. So Air Force, I mean, to the layman, we think of, Top Gun. Well, that's actually Navy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Air Force, airplanes. So what were you doing in the Air Force?
I was a civil engineer.
Okay.
My primary AFSC was a 3EO5. I was a 3EO52, but it was 3EOX2. I was an electrical power production journeyman.
Okay.
Which meant that we primarily worked on generators, like from little bitty tack quiet generators all the way up to the huge 750 kW units that ran the entire base and flight line and those forward areas. And then it was a cool mission because you learn a little bit about everything, dude. You learn how to do everything, or at least enough to get yourself in trouble doing it. Right. But, man, we just had a tough night.
So does Air Force have infantry? Like people?
You have special I'm not going to, like special operations branches. And then you have security forces, which is like your military police that are weapon-wielding men as well. Okay. And women. Excuse me. Sorry, ladies. But, so, yeah, man, that night, just some chaos happened, and dude, by the end of it, I ended up in the fan blade of a generator, hung up in that generator. And I guess 2 nights before that, we had an aircraft, dude. Like, you have the base, and then we had our little power site, and then you had the flight line. And a Saudi Arabian aircraft was taking off, dude, and just went up. Like, it blew up. I ended up hitting my head that night. Like, blast knocked me back. But I'd grown up getting beat up a lot. I'd love to say I was like fighting and doing well, but I wasn't. Like, I just was angry and I would get hit a lot.
Getting in fights is different than winning fights.
Absolutely, dude. There's a night and day difference. I mean, I'd love to think that maybe I held my own sometimes, and maybe I did, but I know that I got hit a lot.
Right.
But then football too, man. You get your bell rung pretty regular. But that next night is the night that I really got hurt, and man, like I said, I fell off into this generator, and I looked down, man, and I had on these green, like, flight gloves, right? And the glove is, like, all kicked to the side. And I was like, huh. You know, like, it sounded like somebody ran a limb through a log, like a mulcher, like that. And I thought, well, that didn't sound right. And I looked down, dude, and my glove was all kicked to the side. And
Dude, I forgot you were missing fingers.
yeah.
I mean, I'm sitting here thinking, like, does this dude really love me? Like, I was like, what is happening here? I was like, is he throwing me signs? But you don't have fingers right there.
No, I lost all four of them. And
oh, you got four.
yeah. And
So they were able to reattach the pinky and the, what is that, index finger?
yes. And when I came home, dude, I kind of had these two.
Yeah.
But not the ends. Like, it looked like if you were to take a hot dog and put it in the microwave for like 7 minutes, you know how to like, and that's kind of what it looked like, but it had pins sticking out of it, dude.
Oh my
and
gosh.
it was gnarly, man. But what was pretty cool, because there was no bone in it, like I could spin them around backwards.
Just to freak people
Oh
out.
yeah, dude. I was a little morbid, man. I was lost, dude. Like, I was no longer lost, honestly.
Yeah. You had an experience, but still a little residual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But dude, in that moment when that happened,
Dang.
Chad, I didn't say a single profane word.
Come on.
I didn't go into shock. Dude, all I could do was thank Jesus.
That
Like,
you're
as I
alive.
was like, yeah, man. And it was like the entire process, man. I just was at peace. Like, I feel like Christ saved that for me until the moment that he knew that I was going to need him most. And it was in that, in that time frame that I was still on fire for him, just lit up, a new believer.
Yeah.
And he was there for me.
Wow.
And, man, I ended up going to Germany. Not Germany. I was supposed to go to Germany, but got sent to Kuwait. And the hospital there couldn't help me. So then I was supposed to go to Landstuhl in Germany. And that was a whole horrific story. But there's some guys out there there are these two CAV pilots that in 2003 were captured after evading capture in the desert for over a month, dude. Like, these dudes are legit. There were I think it was 7 people that were captured that were POWs, and we all came together in Kuwait to fly home. And there was a ranger, I think he was a lieutenant, but he was missing his thumb right on his right hand, and my left hand was gimped up. So we had a good time, man. Like, both of us are strapped up like this, and we walk around waving at everybody. We had a good time with it. But I'm supposed to go to Germany, dude, and we got put in this van, and it was like almost like an undercover thing, like white van, and had the little dingo balls that hang around it, like very, very much
Like Cheech and Chong dingo balls? Is that what we're
that's almost,
with?
yeah, that's kind of what it looked like, dude.
Yeah.
But it's how all the vehicles there were decorated,
Okay.
so that you would run under the radar.
Yeah.
And dude, we get to the tarmac, and this young captain got on the plane, and like you could see all the media crew and stuff at the aircraft, and they basically called off those 9 people, and the couple of us we were scratched from that flight to go to Germany. And I will never forget those 2 men, and I would love to give them a hug someday.
Yeah.
But both of those men were like, I'm fine, take these guys that are hurt. And I got to see this selfless thing, dude. Like, these dudes traveled and crawled and lived in ditches and septic, like wherever they could hide. And they did it for almost a month or over a month before being captured, then survived being, captivity as a prisoner of war. And we're like, no, I'll stay a little longer, take these guys, dude. And I got goosebumps.
Wild.
Like, they really, someday I pray that I get to give those guys a hug and thank them.
So they were prisoners.
for the humanity.
And because y'all are injured, they placed y'all first.
They tried to. Now, it did not work out.
Okay.
We ended up going to Rota, Spain,
Okay.
to the naval tent or naval hospital there. And that's where I woke up. Like, they put me under again, and they removed all the grit and grime and debrided my fingers. And then sent home. And, it's a crazy thing about being medevac, dude. Like, you're with your guys. You're with those men and women that you are willing to live and die by no matter what.
Yeah.
That's your family. And, man, I was always a team guy. Like, my whole life I played sports. And so much of, like, my security was wrapped up in them. And then you get hurt, right? And you get flown away from them. And then you get home. And dude, I just felt so all alone. And I had people in my life that were trying to care for me. It wasn't that anybody turned their back on me in that moment. I just didn't necessarily see it. But I had this new relationship with Christ, and I got involved in a church and went into ministry, right? Was called to ministry. And people did what people do. And I got really mad, like, if this is church and this is church people, I don't want anything to do with this. And I turned my back on God and the church.
Is this before you and I met?
This is before you and I met.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, man. Like, when you and I started running together, like, I was still trying to find my way back to Christ, really.
Yeah. Because we met years ago when I did that Veterans Day event.
Absolutely.
And I guess through networking, I was trying to gather a bunch of, combat vets. And you and I hit it off. I mean,
absolutely.
I mean, we probably only had 10 conversations, but they've been like hours long each.
Yeah, no doubt, dude.
Yeah, I mean, just okay. So at that point, because I'm trying to like connect timelines, because you had an encounter with a legit encounter with Christ in your drawers, and then life happens. I mean, we see that happen all the time, where it just distracts you and pulls you away, anger, and then you find yourself away from God again.
Oh yeah, dude, and just lost. Again.
Yeah.
But this time it was by my own decision.
Yeah.
I had experienced grace, and I knew what love was. Like, I had experienced that, and man, I met my wife, 2 years after getting home from overseas. And man, I went through a divorce first, and then as life happened, man, I had a couple different jobs, and then I joined the sheriff's office in Ascension Parish. And then I met this incredible woman, and I was living lost. And for some reason, she loved me. Yeah. And I still don't understand it. I'm appreciative of it. Thank you, God. Thank you, Alyssa. I am. I'm a blessed man for it, because I was not easy to love, man. My crutch or default had been anger and bitterness. Mm-hmm. And, man, she loved me in spite of it. And I went back to my language was horrific. I drank like a fish, fell back into the pot-smoking life, and tried to numb everything in my life. Yeah. And then I had that really cool job after that in the oil field, where I took people hunting all over the country, and and I had lost sight. Like I said, I just lost sight of who made me and who loved me.
Wow.
And who had made me in his image. And when I heard those words, dude, I was, and in that moment, I thought about sweet Luella rocking me in that chair, dude, and telling me about the prodigal son. And I am so thankful, dude. And in that time, my dear sweet friend Chris that I was talking about, man, he had gone to the range at Tyndall Air Force Base to sight in rifles to take a bunch of kids hunting, because he was a good dude. And he got killed in a car accident.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah, man. I'm telling you, like,
Dang.
I was so...
Chris Weems.
Weimer. Yeah, man.
Chris Weimer.
And, dude, I was just...
Wow.
I just didn't want anything to do with God at the time, I had blamed him for so much. And in that moment, dude, like I said, in the quiet peace of the woods, surrounded by God's creation, and the little angel that I call my daughter, dude, it became abundantly clear that I couldn't do it without him, nor did I want to anymore.
Yeah.
And I was crusty now, don't get me wrong. Like, I'd love to say I was one of those, like, miraculous transformations. Dude, I clung to my flesh really hard.
Yeah.
And I feel like God allowed me to go through some more tough things. But through that time, man, I started taking vets on those rain down hunts. Mm-hmm. But now it was based on a veteran and his kids, because I wanted them to know Jesus.
Wow.
So in that time, I'm telling these dudes about Jesus. Yeah. Taking them hunting and seeing God work in their life. But I really wasn't bought. I just wouldn't give in, dude. I wouldn't really surrender.
Yeah.
And I was on my way to a hunt in January with a bunch of veterans, right? And now I've been doing this like 2-3 years. And man, I'm just riding and I'm praying and God told me to get baptized, right? Like it's time. And I'm now praying, like, I say praying, dude. I just ride and talk to God a lot. Like, if you see me in the truck, people probably think I'm a lunatic, but that's how I can, like, I just talk to God. Like, I was told, you talk to him like a friend, dude, and sometimes I feel like he's my only friend. I know that's not true, but I know that he is the one. And I called my buddy, man, that had preached at that Wild Game Supper years before and had loved me and mentored me. And, dude, I was like, man, I'm embarrassed. I'm in my 30s, early 30s at this time. I've been taking these dudes on hunts. I have talked to them about the Lord. I have talked at my wife about God. I have talked at her about Jesus.
Yeah.
I was not leading, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm telling them they need Jesus. And I was like, man, I'm just embarrassed, dude. And he started laughing, right? Because that's the kind of dude he is. Just very blunt with me. And I need that because I'm a hard-headed veteran and 8 fingers of fun. And he was like, nah, dude, those guys need to see it. And I did, man. In the middle of January, that dude got in a lake in the middle of a deer lease and baptized me.
Wow.
And then some of the hardest things I ever dealt with in my life came from that. You know, like when you go all in for God, it's coming.
Yeah.
It is coming, baby.
Yep.
But then I got to see my little girl baptized in that same lake 2 years later.
Come on.
And, you know, fast forwarding in life, now I'm helping in ministry and I'm really serving with Rain Down. Like, man, my heart is in it and taking guys for the right reason.
Yeah.
And
Rain Down, that is veterans?
Well,
this is just anyone.
I kind of helped with the Patriot division of Rain Down.
Okay.
They do hunts for everyone. Mm-hmm. But then every year they kind of will slot a weekend, and it's just veterans and their kids that get to go hunt,
That's
man.
cool.
And it's an unbelievable time.
Wow.
Kind of what I was seeing at the time, though, there's so many wonderful people that are like, hey, man, I want to take veterans hunting. I want to take them fishing. And we would go without our families, get together, and I needed it at the time.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of alcohol, a lot of just come here and not think about the world.
Yeah.
And it's not inherently a bad thing. God just called me to do it different.
Correct.
I was getting out of my house. I was spending time with people, but I wasn't working on something that lasts forever, right?
Yeah.
And that was what God put on my heart, man, is we need to give something that lasts. And so with that, I get to take all these folks hunting and spend that time and introduce people to Jesus. And as time has gone on, man, I got to baptize my sons in a lake.
Same lake?
No, a different lake.
A different lake. Dude, that's so cool.
And I watched my wife get baptized in the church we were at, and man, we just have been so blessed.
Yeah.
And so loved by the God that made us in His image.
Yeah.
Enough to where He reflected on that day, and it was very good, dude. And it is, man. It is. I guess my hard heart, you know, kind of like Isaiah, I guess, like take this heart of stone, man.
Yeah.
And He did, and I just needed to know how loved I was, and that was. Yeah, so Genesis, you know, and
that's cool.
In the simple words of God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I think about that event we did years ago. And I mean, you don't come across too many people in life that you just have an immediate, like, just connection with, like, and that's what I've always loved about you and tried to stay connected and tried to hire you, tried to get you to come do life with me. And
it's going to happen someday, dude. I'm not giving up on it.
No, me neither. I'm a tenacious individual.
Yes, you are, my friend.
I don't.
Well, what's crazy to me, too, like a job that you tried to get me to do years ago is exactly what I'm doing today.
Right.
You know, you just
I might be a prophet.
Yeah, I hear you, dude.
I might be
I can't say that you're not, but yeah,
man. man, just hearing your stories is man, I get to learn more and more as we talk and get to know each other. But man, thank you so much for your service. You know, and I love how lighthearted you are, you know, about it. What are you, 8 fingers of what?
8 fingers of fun, baby. No.
See, if that happened to me, I would be in a bind because counting, you know, math.
Dude, yeah.
But you're smart, so you know, if I would have been, you know, Marine or Army grade, I would struggle with lacking fingers.
So, dude, when I was going through my rehabilitation with occupational therapy, and I will say, getting hurt in the military was a blessing, both blessing and burden.
Forever.
Burden and blessing. Yeah. But I had a young captain that he had been an enlisted guy, went to school and became an occupational therapist. Great man. But, dude, they called me in. They're worried about me, right? And he calls me into his office. We sit down, and he's like, son, I'm just worried about you. What do you mean, sir? He's like, you have lost your fingers, like you are going through some things, and I feel like you're not appreciating the full gravity of what your injuries and what you have gone through. And I just looked at him and started smiling, man. I was like, dude, I'm from South Louisiana. Everybody's missing a finger or two. Like, I just finally fit in, you know? Like, everybody in my family, man, like all my family from Mississippi, genuinely, all of them were missing the end of a finger or 2 fingers.
Chainsaw, circular saw.
Well, farm life, man, farm people. It seemed normal to me. I never thought twice about it. My football career was over, you know, so it wasn't like I was worried that I was ever going to need those fingers again. In my mind, that was still young enough.
Are you right-handed?
I'm right-handed.
Okay, so you're good.
So I went through that med board process, dude, and when I went to apply at the sheriff's office, the military had said I was no longer fit for military service, which was a crushing blow to me, man.
Yeah.
But when I went there, I talked to the colonel at the time, and I said, sir, is this going to be something that would keep me from being employed here? He's like, as long as you can do everything, I don't see any reason in the world it won't. And by the end of my career, man, like the post-certification, I'd made the crisis response team or SWAT team while I was there and spent, I think, 5.5 years on that team. And we shot a lot. But I'd gotten where I could shoot the post with a perfect right-handed. I shot it one time with my gimp hand, and I shot it perfect. Like, God allowed me to do things physically that I didn't think that I could anymore.
Yeah.
You know, that people had told me I couldn't, and I just pray about it, and God would allow me to do things. Yeah, man, and it gave me so much closure.
Wow.
And a lot of those things.
Yeah. So it really doesn't hold you back.
Absolutely not, dude.
You can even have a ring on it. That's impressive.
Yeah, dude.
Is it hard to get it on there?
It's a little different, you know, but with this sweet little hammer hook, I don't ever lose it, you know. I don't have to worry about it flying off. If it gets bent or something, I guess I'm going to be in a bind.
Right.
But yeah, dude, I'm money.
Man, you know, veterans have always had, or God really birthed like this just burden for veterans in my heart. And, you know, I think it came from, you know, I had a friend of mine, because I've always worked with people that struggle with addictions. Well, I had one of my best friends, Robert Prevost.
And I knew Robert through high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one of my best friends, still one of my best friends, man, he came back, you know, he got hit by a mortar, almost lost his leg.
Yeah, I was on a bad Boy Scout trip compared to what those guys endured. Like, I say that all the time. My service was pale in comparison to him and
well, you can't say
those
that.
combat troops, man.
I mean, everybody's sacrifice is substantial over there. But, you know, seeing him come home and, you know, his injury wasn't life-altering, you know, as far as, you know, I don't think it holds him back. Now, some of his back injuries and stuff, his leg injury doesn't hold him back in life. I mean, you know, both of my calves look better, you know, than his one, you know.
Right.
But he's still got that's a genetically modified individual.
He has always been a gargantuan, scary dude. Like, through school, you know, I was glad that we didn't hang out a lot, but he knew me well enough that I didn't have to be afraid of him, you know, because he is a great big dude, no doubt about it.
I remember one time he was on some supplements, we'll say that. And we were sitting in Chili's, and he had these short shorts on, these short khaki shorts with these yellow Nikes on. And I overhear these dudes go, look at that dude's shorts. And the other guy goes, if you had legs like that, you could have those shorts too. He was just like built. But I saw what it did to him. You know, he came back. He's on disability. The military's over-medicating him.
Absolutely.
And then, you know, on top of that, you know, there's some additional meds happening. And, man, I would just go to his house and try to pull him out of there. And I'm like, man, it was a dark house. And I remember, and all this is things him and I have talked about and you know, more or less have permission to talk about publicly. But he was lost and he was in a dark place. And he gave me a key to his house. He said, Chad, if you are ever concerned, you're one person, I want you coming to my house. He wasn't allowed to have guns at this point. But he had all these medieval weapons.
Yeah.
He had a mace. And I was scared to go in there because you were dealing with
I can't even fathom that dude.
And I'm like, I'm just so scared that I'm going to get hit in the head with a mace.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the ball with the spikes. But man, I would go over there, pull him out of his house and you know, just trying to push him on. And I realized, here's the issue. This dude went from being on a mission, having a great purpose, fighting for our country, coming home injured, and having no purpose. They're sending them money. They're sending them meds.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, hey, what'd you do today? Watch some reruns. Well, that doesn't give a man value. It doesn't give a man self-worth. And that's no purpose for living in that. And so I started thinking, I was like, Robert, man, I need you to trust me. I think the problem is you just don't have purpose. So I want you to go pressure wash for these widows. I want you to come over here and do this. And so, you know, in doing that, I'm like, man, if he can have purpose, because at the end of the day, hey, what'd you do today? I didn't make any money. I don't have to, but I pressure wash for these widows. I went and helped this single mother move. You don't feel like a loser anymore. You know, purpose has been restored.
Well, you know, Paul, we have that moment, like, or is it James? A man doesn't work, he doesn't eat.
That's
it's
right.
James.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's a form of punishment. I think what he was getting at is, man, if you're not working, right? If you're not out serving, if you're not doing the things, man, just eating, it's if there's no value in it, if there's nothing earned, if there's, you know, we have to have purpose, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's one of those things that I'm so glad you said that, dude. And I think that's why you and I hit it off, is I saw your heart for veterans way back, dude. I saw how you were with Robert. I don't know if you remember, we were going to serve one day, and he didn't show up, and you and I went over there and got him, and you had to go in and rustle him up, you know. And he was in a tough spot, dude. But he's always had a huge heart. Huge man, huge heart. But it's one of those things I try to impress upon veterans, especially when I speak to them. I'm preaching tomorrow for our little veterans breakfast at the school, and that's, greater love has no man than to lay down his life for a friend.
Yeah.
To join the service and to write a blank check for your life, whether you realize it or not, there's something in you that you have to love your fellow man.
Yeah.
God gave us a purpose.
Yeah.
And when our purpose isn't done, right? Like we have to run the race God gives us. And it's like we get home like the tortoise and the hare, you know. We run so fast, you run so hard, you work so hard. And then, man, like you lose your identity.
Yeah.
And you lay down. Because like you said, dude, there's so many guys that I know that were just over medicated.
Right.
I was given all kind of crazy stuff, and from one thing to another, and man, honestly, really falling back into that pot realm for me was, one of my doctors was like, you need to just try this and quit taking all these pharmaceutical drugs.
Right.
Just smoke pot.
Yeah.
And it took me to a dark place,
Really?
you know?
Wow.
But a lot of that was overuse, you know, my personality and all that. But yeah, man, we have a purpose.
Yeah.
And when we're living for God, our purpose is to make disciples of all nations.
Yeah.
It's not go out and make believers. It's not go out and make people that like Jesus. It is to make disciples. And I know in my personal life, those two men that invited me to that wild game supper, they were there the day I got baptized. They would call me. They would check on me. They would love on me. They would support me. My kids had something. They showed up to make sure that I knew that they were godly men that loved me.
Yeah.
Man, I've gotten to speak at all these wild game suppers now and preach across,
Wow.
you know, Louisiana and Mississippi,
Dude,
and share
so
my
cool.
testimony.
Yeah.
And those two men have been there.
Yeah.
They were at my daughter's wedding.
I love it.
God put disciples in my life that understood the gravity of making disciples.
Yeah.
And that's their purpose. And I feel like it gave me my purpose. And like Robert, like you're saying, man, getting out and serving.
Yeah.
Doing the work, man, like not just talking about their faith, but you can see his faith by the works that he's doing, not the other way around.
Correct.
And man, that purpose is big.
And dude, it's really, I think about it like it was out of, just honestly trying to rescue Robert.
Yeah.
Just be there for my friend that we named our church Purpose Church. Before that, we started a ministry for reaching the addicted called Restoring Purpose Ministries.
Right.
And so God's really given me a burden because I always think to myself, not everybody has an overbearing friend like me that will come into your house, right, and get all up in your business. And that's me. That's my personality. Like, if I love you, I'm gonna love you. I want to know all. I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty. I'm not afraid of the cuss words. I'm not afraid of, even getting hit with a mace. So I'm afraid, but I'm gonna face that.
Lord help me.
Yeah, and He never did, but. Yeah, that's one thing I'm super excited. In fact, this Sunday we're having a Vision Sunday. Like both services are going to be Vision Sunday, announcing like the true vision for our Dream Center that we're planting, and the whole vision of it is to create a place. It'll be an outreach hub for our city, just to impact the poor, people struggling with poverty, single mothers, widows, just loving on people. But the kind of like the root of it is to give disabled veterans a purpose again.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be an 8,000 square foot. In fact, I have these. I'll show you this.
All right.
Not that anybody on here can see it because our video just shut off.
There's Robert there.
Yeah, there's Robert on the. So yeah, it's going to be an 8,000 square foot warehouse, and it'll have a veterans clubhouse. And so. Yeah, if you look, let's see, one more page, I think. Yeah, so it'll have a veterans clubhouse. It'll be around 2,000 square feet to gather them, to give them a place. Pool table, shooting simulator, golf simulator, kitchen, huge table, just to give them that gathering spot, that camaraderie, that brotherhood back they haven't had, and mobilizing them. To serve the widows, serve the poor, serve the hurting. When natural disasters come, because we face those all the time.
Absolutely,
they'll be the ones like spearheading all of our other volunteers to serve our city and help people. And I am fully convinced that we're going to be able to change and rescue these veterans out of their darkness just by serving the others. So in helping the veterans, we're solving all these other problems.
Well, yeah, man. One of those things that I think for those of us that love people, right, we want to save people.
Yeah.
And when we figure out that line, that transition from I can't save anybody.
Nope.
Christ does the saving.
Right.
I just need to introduce them to the one that does.
Yeah.
Man, it's huge. And I'm looking at this picture, not to get sidetracked.
You're in there.
There's a young Sam Caston right there, dude. My godfather was on that trip with us. I don't know if you remember that. He's a Vietnam veteran.
Okay.
We talked about that trip the other day, dude, and how cool it was for him, like seeing that. My Uncle Phil fought, and Phil Brady, he's a local name, local hero, legend.
That's your uncle?
That's my godfather. I call him Uncle.
Yeah.
And dude,
he owns the bar.
He did,
Government?
dude. Yeah,
okay.
He opened that was his bar.
Okay.
He owned Magoo's in downtown LSU.
Okay.
And just he is a folklore dude in this area, But he was so it was encouraging for him to go and spend that time and see all that, and still talking about it.
Well, see that. This wasn't my intention at the time. It was to do this annually, but it kind of served as almost like an experiment to, is this even a need?
Yeah.
And it was so easy to gather this group of men. I mean, is there 50 people there at least? More than that.
Yeah.
The dude's with his arm around me. Look at Chubby Chad, all the way to the left. That dude's in jail right now.
Really?
A stinking war hero. And he's just so, and I was working with his mom just recently to try to get him, we were going to do something a little edgy. There's that new ibogaine treatment that they're trying that is having great results for PTSD.
Okay.
It's in Mexico. She had already cashed in her retirement to pay for this. He gets locked up in the meantime because we had him in rehab. We would get him sober, then we're going to send him to Mexico to see if that, would just help him. So this kind of served as a, experiment because gathering these guys was super easy. We did some events after that, like helped a single mother move. You were there for that, I believe.
Yeah.
And the next year, I remember some of the veterans are upset with me for not having it again.
Right.
But I know that by having this spot, it'll be so easy, this clubhouse, to gather these men and give that camaraderie back again.
Well, absolutely, man. And our God is a relational God.
Yes.
Relationship, you can tell people about Jesus all day, but when they see Christ in your life and experience Christ and see that light in you, you can absolutely help someone change their life with Christ. I love it, dude. I think this is incredible. And I think my pastor there at Liberty, man, he is a younger guy, and he has such a heart for people.
Yeah.
But it's one of the things he keeps talking about too. With all this chaos with the government right now and all this battle, I'm not trying to argue politics.
No.
Like it, love it. There are things going on right now, and people are afraid.
Yeah.
And the church is going to have to step up.
Absolutely.
It's time to be the church. We can't just hide behiin our buildings and in our
That's
offices. Right. It is time to be the church.
Yeah.
This is a way to be the church and allow people to be the church.
Yeah.
To empower them and help them go out and simply make disciples of all nations, and it has to start right here at home.
Absolutely.
We want the world to change. We want a better life for our kids, all those things. I think both people, like both sides of the aisle, want a great country. They want America to be great. I'm not going to go into all the acronyms, all that. Both sides want the country to be the best that it can be. It is my personal opinion. We are better when we are bonded under Christ.
That's right. That's right.
And this is an incredible way to be the church and not just talk about it.
That's right.
And yeah, dude, I think it's great. And there's something, regardless of the branch of the military that you serve in, everyone is taught to be a leader. You are pushed to be a leader among your peers, whether that be man, woman, like whoever you are encouraged and taught to be a leader. Sometimes we just need a little push and a little bit of support to be the leader God is calling us to be.
Yeah.
Man, you empower men and women that have served this country and give them back their purpose, buddy.
Oh, my gosh.
It's a fire you can't put out.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And you can't go and make disciples without gathering. Jesus gathered his disciples. And no matter where they were in their life. And so we're going to be dealing with some colorful situations, some colorful folks, some brokenness. But, man, you gather them. People are going to give their hearts to Christ. Oh, it's going to change families. I mean.
Well, and that was a big part, like with what I was talking about earlier in those hunts. You take a guy hunting, right? He gets out the house. He has a little fun. He has gotten out of the house.
Yeah.
But then they have to return home.
Yeah.
My wife and children suffered the brunt of my frustration, anger, bitterness, depression, PTSD, those scary nights of trying to wake Dad up, like all those things.
Yeah.
But, man, Jesus saved my family.
Dude, so
Jesus
amazing.
Help me be. Every day I'm struggling, right? I'm a man. I'm not trying to act like I've got it all figured out. I'm following the one that has it figured out.
Yeah.
But I've learned to be a husband. I've learned to be a father, and put them in those. And I'm a Christian father, husband, and allowed me to lead my home. Like to be that spiritual director that God was calling me to be. And we had peace in our home. We had. Like, I can't even imagine what it was like for my wife to come home when I was there.
Yeah.
And, man, just the tension and the stress and the pressure, but she came home every day.
Wow.
Unfortunately,
I've only met her a couple of times. She seems like such a sweet girl.
Oh, yeah, man.
And she's a stand-up woman.
Oh, no doubt, dude.
Stand-up woman.
But I wanted a different life for my kids too,
Dude.
you know.
And that's the thing, you know, even with our addiction ministry, it's not even just about reaching the addict. You reach the addict and you help him to be a better father and husband. And I mean, we've seen so many families restored because it's not just about the individual. It makes a generational impact.
Absolutely.
I mean, your kids, they didn't grow up the way you grew up, you know?
No, man. And that's, as I've gotten older, right? I look back on that time in my life that I was the angriest and most scared.
Yeah.
In my high school years. And high school's tough anyway.
Yeah.
But I look at my dad, man, and I realize what he had been through.
Yeah.
I look back now, I'm the age he was when he died.
Wow.
And I can show grace. Like, man, it's one of those things I wish I could do different in life, was not be angry with him in that time, you know, for being the way that he was. I get it. My mom, knowing the things that she endured in childhood, they were doing the best they could.
That's all we can do.
And they gave me a better life than they had.
Yeah.
And then I watched Jesus change them.
Wow.
Like in my dad, dude, I got to see the kind of father that I absolutely do not want to be, but I got to see the kind of dad that I'm striving to be in the same man.
That's so cool.
Because of Jesus.
Yeah.
And I got to see my mom, you know, the things that I didn't want to be, but I also got to see the things that I strived to be, you know, in the same woman, and Christ did that. But I have been blessed to have lived long enough to look back on those times, and God was just giving me perseverance, you know, training me in perseverance.
Yeah.
And I hear that is what shapes our character.
That's what
I read
it
it
is.
somewhere in this,
it's somewhere in the Bible. Yeah. Several times.
Yeah, man. And that character gives me hope.
Yeah.
But man, those tough times, guys and gals that have served and have fought overseas, man, they have endured great hardship.
Yeah.
There is not a person, I think, that raises their right hand and ends with "So help me God" in service of this country, that doesn't mourn the loss of each and every person that dies in the battlefield, that comes home, you know, and is part of that 22 a day.
Yeah.
And man, I've had some people that I love dearly that have taken their life since they have been home.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, you mourn each and every one of those losses. And the prayer is that they knew Jesus.
Yeah.
Man, I tell you, one of the biggest changes, those men that is a catalyst in my life today was a guy that I brought hunting with his kid, and he left the hunt early. And I was kind of bitter about it. Like, I brought you up here, and he came to me later and was like, man, I wasn't ready to hear it at the time, but I'm ready to talk about it now. And I didn't take that moment right then and talk to him, because I was still trying to live with one foot in the world and one foot in the Word. And it is one of the biggest guilty moments in my life, is that I had somebody come to me wanting Jesus, and I didn't take the time to share it right then.
Yeah.
I was too busy wanting to hang out with the boys and kind of cut up. And it has been a huge push for me. And there's another veteran, man, that I love. And when I decided to go all in for Christ, he and I used to run together a lot. And it was kind of that, dude, I love you. If you're ready to go on this journey with me, we'll go. But I can't live like this anymore. And we didn't talk for probably 2 years, almost 3. And he called me one day and was like, man, I gave my life to Jesus, and would you baptize me? And dude, he came out to our place in Mississippi, and me and my 2 sons went to a pond there by the house and baptized him. And we have to make hard decisions sometimes.
Yeah.
But man, Christ is so faithful, dude.
He is. He is.
But those little moments, man, we can't let them break us down. We have to use them, you know, allow God to use them in our life. Like I said, I had an opportunity that I squandered, and I pray that I never do it again.
Amen.
You know?
Yeah.
And I tell you, recently, I've learned some hard lessons too, like that prayer for all of us, especially I think if your heart is really in ministry, if you were called to serve in this capacity, I pray it all the time, like, God, use me. Like, God put me in front of somebody to share you. And, dude, sometimes that's difficult. Like, when you realize the weight of what you were praying for. And I had a moment this year that, man, there's a time that I would have handled so much differently. And in that moment, man, I got to take my boys and we just prayed for somebody like that there's a time in my life I'd have been so angry with and made a huge scene. And instead, my guys, we got together and we just prayed for them because it was obvious that they needed Jesus.
Yeah.
And the next time I saw that person, they were a completely different person.
Come on.
You know, and I know that God hears those moments. But I also remembered praying like, God, use me. And then sometimes it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, for sure. But man, instilling that into your boys.
Yeah, man.
That's huge.
Well, and I'm a passionate guy.
Yeah.
And there are times in coaching that I get fired up, dude. I wish that like that self-control thing, right? That's that part of the fruit that I struggle with. But I've also gotten to see that we can have those moments and apologize and reconcile.
Absolutely.
And man, it's a beautiful thing when you watch it change for somebody.
Yeah.
And so
that's incredible. Well, dude, man, have lived quite a life. God has done so many things in your life, and I'm just so glad to know you. And who knows what the future holds? But as we kind of wrap it up, like, you got any last thoughts? I think you have said so many things that could encourage someone who's in a dark place, who had an unfair, childhood or struggles in childhood. I mean, you've said a lot of things that are so encouraging to so many people. But any closing thoughts or anything?
Man.
Or maybe a message to veterans.
Well, to my veterans, right? My brothers and sisters in arms, God is not done with you. God loved you so much that he made you in his own image.
Amen.
And we are all born into sin. But man, he loved us so much in that he would send his son to hang on the cross for us so that we could be made whole with him, man. And that idea, like, when we put our faith in Jesus, just simply put our faith in Jesus, we're washed white as snow. And we don't have to carry those burdens anymore. Like, wide is the gate that leads to the path of destruction, and narrow is the gate that leads to the kingdom. And I think about that all the time, in that gate's got to be wide that goes to destruction. It's got to be wide because everything that we do, every sin, everything that we do, every decision we make, contrary to what God is calling us to do, we add to that bag. I think about, like, carrying this huge sack full of bad decisions, like full of regret. And man, we're just dragging, and we let it drag us down, to the point where it feels like we're crawling on hands and knees towards that wide gate. And we put our faith in Jesus, and we can let go of that bag, man, and go through the narrow gate.
Yeah.
Where it's peaceful and easy.
Yeah.
I don't want to say easy. I don't want to give a false representation of faith. We're going to deal with struggles. We know that.
Yeah.
Christ went through struggles, so we are going to go through struggles. But man, we don't have to carry the weight of the world. We don't have to carry the weight of our past decisions, of the things that we did in the name of our country, and then, just the weight of all that sin we don't have to carry.
Yeah.
We can give it to Jesus and be free. And I think about, like, in whom the Son sets free is free indeed. And by God, we can be free. We don't have to carry that.
Yeah.
And he made a way for us because he loved us.
Yeah.
And like the father and the prodigal son that sweet woman taught me, every day he went to the top of that hill and looked at a great distance. And I think about this father, and I think about our God, like, looking out, like, hands over his eyes, like, trying to focus, looking and hoping. And man, when that son comes home, he doesn't beat him with his past mistakes.
Yeah.
He welcomes him home. He puts a ring on his finger and a robe on his neck, and he feeds him like a son.
Yeah.
It's not too late. It is never too late.
Yeah.
If you have breath in your lungs, you still have a race to run, and you have been given this free gift of grace. And all we have to do is put our faith in Jesus.
Yeah.
And he does the rest. And we're going to screw up, and we wake up, and we put our faith in Jesus.
That's right.
And we do the best we can to follow him and live for him. And we slip, and we put our faith in Jesus.
Yeah.
It is the same recipe.
Mm-hmm.
It's just never too late. And I love y'all. And look, if you're somebody out there, I'm easy to find. Call me, text me, email me. I'm always willing to talk to a brother or sister.
You on social media?
I am on social media.
Okay. I can find you on there. Samuel Caston.
That's it, baby. And but to my veterans, man, your race is not over.
Yeah.
And
so good.
As long as we have breath in our lungs, God has a need for us. Not a need. I hate to say a need, but he has a want for us to serve him. We have a need to serve him.
Yeah.
And life goes into focus when we're living for him.
That's right.
And we have a mission. I think everybody that serves gets mission oriented, and we have a tribe, right? I heard a guy say that. I don't want to steal it. It's probably proprietary saying, but man, he described it so well in that you're part of a small family, a small tribe of people that you learn to rely on in life and death. Now you're part of a bigger tribe.
That's right.
God made no mistakes. And, man, our motto for football this year was one God. We live for one God, sharing one heart, and that makes us one family. All the team stuff aside, we're not a team, we're a family.
Yeah.
And when we put our faith in Jesus, man, we are all one big family.
Yeah.
We sang Jesus Loves Me, like black, white, yellow, red.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. I know it's a children's song, but it's a beautiful depiction
Absolutely.
of how Christ made us and what God made us to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
So again, I encourage anybody out there, man, that if you were listening to my ragged voice, you still have a chance.
Yeah.
If you're hearing this, you have time.
Yeah. Amen. Well, I want to close this differently than I ever have. I want you to pray for the veterans, okay?
Right.
But before that, if you're, in the Baton Rouge area and you're like, okay, this kind of gets my heart, I want to invite you out. Purpose Church. We have 2 services, 9 and 10:30. We're going to this Sunday be casting vision for this dream center that is going to reach our city for Jesus, and we ordered about 1,000 of these books to distribute to
Outstanding. That's a great
everyone,
book.
and I really believe we're going to be able to reach a lot of people for Jesus. But yeah, why don't you just in view of Veterans Day, pray for the veterans that are out there struggling. I know so many that are out there. Yeah.
Father, we love you. God, we are so thankful for you. God, thankful for the gift that you gave us in your Son and the reconciliation that is available to us through him. Lord, thank you for his life, his sacrifice. Lord, thank you for salvation. Father, I thank you for each and every man and woman that has ever put on the uniform. God, thank you for our military, our law enforcement, our paramedics, our firemen, those first responders, the people that have given their life in service of their brothers and sisters, God. Lord, and in this moment, I pray that you would touch their hearts, God, that you would bring peace, patience, kindness, love, joy, self-control, Lord, all the fruit of the Spirit, Lord, that they would find hope in you, God, and be encouraged by you, Lord, be led by you, God, that they would be reminded that they still have a race to run, and Lord, that you are calling them to do greater things. Lord, I pray that you would touch hearts of those that don't know you. God, those that have never surrendered to you, Lord, I pray that it be a burden on their heart so much that, God, they can only seek you. Lord, I pray that you be with this Dream Center, God, that you be all that you say that you are, God, and continue to be that, Lord, but that you would reach people through this center, God, that you would reach this community, God, this state, Lord, that you would send people out from it to share you to the ends of the earth. God, and I pray that you be with Brother Chad and the work that he is doing here, Lord, that you would speak through him. God, that you would use him, Lord, that you would continue to make disciples here.
Yeah.
Lord, we love you. God, we are so thankful for you. I pray that you would forgive us where we fail you. God, continue to encourage us to keep our cup full so that we can pour out for others. Lord, forgive us where we fail you. It's in your Son, Jesus' name, we thank you. God, we love you and we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Well, Sam, thanks for making the trip, making the time.
Absolutely.
Love you, bro. And veterans, we love y'all. Baton Rouge, we love y'all. But yeah, you the man, dude.
I am not that. I am here. I'm sure you could have found somebody better than me.
Nah, dude, nah. Maybe somebody with more fingers. But
yeah, that's it, dude. Somebody can snap left-handed.